Hi, my name is Zeb Allen, and today I'm going to be showing you how to swing a golf club. So, starting out, there are going to be 3 different type of clubs that you're going to want to have in your bag whenever you're first starting. So, the first club I'm going to be talking about today is the driver. So, the driver, you'll be able to tell it apart because it's going to have a big club head, it's going to have a big club face, and the shaft of the actual club is going to be much longer than your regular iron and putting shaft. So, how we're going to hit our irons is we're going to set the ball up on a tee because this is the club that you're going to use whenever you are starting out on your first shot of the hole. So, whenever you're starting out on a par 4 or a par 5, you're going to set up the ball in the front of your stance. So, if you're left-handed, you're going to get your feet about shoulder width apart. Then you are going to set the club just like this. You're going to set the ball on your just inside of your front foot on a tee. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is put your hands on the club. Make sure you don't. Make sure you have a good tight grip on it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have what's called a backswing. Now, in our backswing, what we're going to do is we're not going to want to come super far like this and move our head. We're not going to want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep it right here. We're going to keep our head on it the whole time. We're not going to want to move this because this is something that needs to see the ball. And if we can't see the ball, then we're not going to be able to hit it. So we're going to look at our target, going to look back at the ball, going to take our club, going to go back, and then forth, and hit it perfectly straight, just like that. So it's pretty easy. That's our driver. Our driver is going to be what we use mainly on longer holes. It's what we're going to use to start off. You're never going to really want to hit a driver off the deck, which means like just straight off the ground. You're definitely going to want to tee it up whenever you use it. But moving on, after you hit your beautiful drive down the fairway, no, I'm just kidding. It'll probably end up in the woods, like if you're me. But what you're going to do is you're going to grab this thing. This is called an iron. So the way that this is different from a driver is, as you can see, the club head is very, very, very small. And it is actually made of iron. I know, it's pretty crazy. But it has a much smaller club face, and it actually has these grooves on the inside on the actual club face itself that help get some spin on the ball whenever you're swinging. So, whenever you're swinging an iron, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it not towards the front of our stance, but we're going to want to put it towards the middle of our stance. So, the difference between, you might be wondering, Zeb, why are we going to put it in the middle of our stance instead of putting it on our front foot? Well, the difference is, as you can see, do y'all see the different shaft lengths? The driver is much longer than this iron. So whenever we come through on our foreswing, so as soon as we go from our backswing, and this is our foreswing, we're gonna wanna catch it in the middle of our stance rather than be on top of it in the front of our stance. So that is why we set it up in the middle of our stance. So what we're gonna do is the same thing. You're gonna get your feet about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit less, just depends on how you feel. What you're gonna do is you're gonna stand up, you're gonna have it just about right in the middle of our stance. We're gonna wiggle it a little bit, put a club face down, go back, and then hit it. And that is how we are going to hit our irons. So, on a starting set, you might have 1 or 2 irons. Whenever you get to a bigger set, you're gonna have something called a pitching wedge to a 9 iron, which is something you might hit a little further, all the way to 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3 iron. I know, it's pretty crazy. But whenever we're hitting our irons, depending on the number, the higher the number, the less distance you're gonna wanna hit it. You're gonna be able to hit it, sorry. So if you're hitting a 3 iron, you're gonna hit it a lot further than you're going to hit, let's say like a 9 iron. So that is the difference between an iron and a driver. So once we get past our driver and our irons, you know, we hit our 2 flawless shots what we're going to actually do is we are going to be on the dance floor, or the putting green, as most people know it as. So, whenever we are on the putting green, we are going to have this thing right here. It is actually called a putter. I know, it's crazy. This terminology is just insane, I know. But, so whenever we have our putter, it is going to have, sometimes it actually have very different club head shapes. Some of them are giant, some of them are super thin. This one's kind of half, like a half circle. It's pretty cool. But it's going to have a flat surface. There's not going to be any grooves on this or anything. It's a lot different than from our standard irons and our standard drivers. So the difference between our putter and our irons and our driver is we're never going to want to take just a big full swing like that to hit our putter, because that's just not how you're going to want to do it. You're going to hit it all the way off the green, and it's just not going to be any fun. So whenever we are hitting our putter, we are only going to move our shoulders. So what I mean by that is we're not going to move our arms like this, because if we move our arms like this, we're just going to hit it all over the place. So whenever I say we're only going to move our shoulders, that means whenever we're going, we're just going to move them back and then forth, just like that. Back and then forth. Super, super simple. So let's say we lined up our putt. We think we have it good. We're going to put it in our middle of our stance still. You're going to keep your hands tight to your body, just like this, and you're not going to move them. You're just going to move your shoulders. It's going to be super, super simple. So you're going to stand over the ball. You're going to have your back kind of arched a little bit. You're going to stand over. You're going to go back and then forth. Just like that. And so that is how you swing a golf club.